What's good, YouTube? It's your boy SB, back here with another sports break. Now today I'm going to be covering everything that happened in Week 8 of the NFL, covering the 3 top games from this past Sunday. Going to be breaking down a little film, giving y'all a little in-depth analysis on what the teams do good, what they do bad, and what they might need a little work on. So if that seems like something that you like, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get to the video. First game we're going to get to today is the Bills versus the Pats. Now, this is a big division game against two of the top teams, well, at least the Pats like to think they are, in the division, going head-to-head, trying to prove that the division was theirs. So without further ado, let's get to the highlights. The Patriots opened the game, running the ball all the way down to the 50. But the drive stalls out on 3rd and 12. Moss and Allen both rip off big runs on the way for Moss scoring a touchdown. Bills take the lead 7-0. Pat used a big play from White to get 43-yard field goal. Allen tries to run a 2-minute drive, but is intercepted by J.C. Jackson. Cam stands strong in the pocket to make a good throws and get a field goal before the half. Score is now 7-6. Started the third quarter with a big catch and run from Diggs. Leads to Moss's second touchdown of the game. Pat's finally able to put together a good drive. Big touchdown run for Harris. They convert the 2-point play and tie the game at 14. Try to sneak at onside kick, but it fails. Moss and Singletary highlight a drive into the red zone at the end of the quarter. Start of the fourth quarter, Allen makes the most of his running backs work and take it himself for a rushing touchdown. Cam makes impressive throws and gets help from Harris with 2 big runs. Cam finishes the job with a rushing touchdown. Buffalo able to push the ball down the field, but the Pats defense bends without breaking, forces a field goal. The score is now 24-21. Pats make a strong drive to get the ball down into the red zone with under a minute left. Cam fumbles on a design quarterback run, and that's how the game ends. It was a big statement game for the Bills. They wanted to prove that the division was theirs and put the big bad Pats in their rearview mirror. All of a sudden, they just didn't look much better than New England did. Zach Moss is a beast, definitely the truth. And he's going to be taking that job from Singletary pretty soon. But they have a 3-headed monster there with Singletary and Moss, and also the quarterback Allen running the ball. This division is going to be theirs. They're going to win it. The Pats are in their rearview mirror, so winning the game, they achieved what they wanted to do. The Dolphins is something that they won't go away. They're going to have to beat the Dolphins at least twice, but I don't see them having a problem doing that. This division is going to be theirs. It's an easy win for them. But we'll see what they can do in the playoffs once they make it in. They won't get one of the top seeds, so they will be playing one of the wild card teams, and the AFC is pretty tough. So that three-headed monster is going to take them a long way. Stephon Diggs is playing really well in his first year in Buffalo. But this game against New England, they didn't really just show up to play. It was a team that was easy for them to beat, but they still struggled with them. And if it wasn't for Cam, they probably would have lost. So shout out to Buffalo. They played well this week. They have a tough matchup next week. As for the Pats, it's really a shame that the narrative from this game is going to come from that fumble that Cam had at the end of the game. It's warranted because, they were in field goal range and they were going for a touchdown and they could have won the game. But outside of that, Cam played extremely well in this game. He made strong throws down the field, stood in the pocket, delivered the ball with confidence, and he was shredding them on the ground. No doubt about it. Just carrying the ball in the wrong hand at the end of the game when you're already in field goal position. You're thinking that at least we can do is go into overtime, but we're going for the win right now. And Cam's been in this league for a long time, man. He should know that he shouldn't be carrying the ball in the opposite hand of the goal, of the sideline. And it's just a rookie mistake made by a veteran quarterback that you don't expect to see. He hasn't played well since he came back from the virus, but in this game, he was spectacular, bro, and he was really good. So I don't want it to take too much away with the dumb fumble at the end that costed them the game, but with this loss, this season is looking really ugly at 2-5. They're the third best team in their division, and that's only because the Jets are last, and the Jets look like a high school team at this moment. But I don't want Cam to get too much blame for this loss. The fumble at the end did a lot, but he played really well, and he deserves props for the way that he showed up in this game. And he also deserves a little blame for the way that he handled the ball at the end. Being a quarterback, you got to protect the ball, especially playing for the Patriots. It's something that people now are accustomed to seeing from New England, with them having a losing record and with Bill Belichick not being a playoff contender. It's going to be a little different. But that team has been hit hard by the virus. They had a lot of players that opted out. Their two best players being Cam and Stephon Gilmore both missed time after contracting the virus. So the team is dealing with a whole lot. I don't want to excoriate them too much. This is a game that they really needed, and they played well for the most part. They had a chance to win, and that's all you can really ask for in the NFL is a chance to win the game at the end. So it was a good outing for them, good showing. Cam fumbled the ball at the end of the game. That costed them the win, but this season is almost a wash for them either way. It might be better for them to get late and try to get one of these good receivers coming out in the draft. The next game we're going to get into is the Steelers and the Ravens. Now, this is a big game for the division. Pretty much a battle for first place with two top teams in the AFC going head-to-head to see which one is better, which one is going to own the division, which quarterback is the best in the division. So, without further ado, let's get into the highlights. Jackson drops back, first play drive of the game, 3rd and 6, throws a pick 6, all the way back to the end zone. Steelers return it, they're on the board first. Unnecessary roughness penalty on a big chunk play by Snead helps the Ravens score on the next drive. Touchdown goes to Boykin. Pitt gives the ball back on a fumble from Chase Claypool. Jackson fumbles on a strip sack on the 10-yard line. On to the second quarter. Two big runs by Domis and Jackson set up a Edwards touchdown run. Jackson takes a hard hit on the 1-yard line on his second run. Long drive takes most of the second quarter for the Ravens. Hayden almost makes a huge interception, but uses the ground to help make the catch. It's deemed incomplete. Ravens drive for a field goal right before the half. 17-7 at halftime. Going into the third quarter, Jackson throws an interception on the Ravens' first drive, sets up Pittsburgh on the 20-yard line. Roethlisberger throws a touchdown on the second play after the pick to Eric Ebron. Ben Dixon dunks his way down the field to set up James Conner for a touchdown rush, 21-17. Now on to the fourth quarter. Ravens move down the field and make some amazing catches, including one touchdown for Brown. Ben takes his team down the field to answer with a touchdown of their own to Claypool, 28-24. Baltimore runs the ball straight down the throat of Pittsburgh, gets to the 10 but is unable to score. Pittsburgh goes 3 and out and punts the ball back with a little under a minute left. Jackson is able to orchestrate a drive down into the end zone, but not able to get a touchdown as time expires. The Ravens started this one strong. They came out fast and they really punched the Steelers in the mouth early. But they struggled to pass the ball throughout the course of the game, and that ended up being their down doing. Lamar really wasn't good offensively this week. He struggled passing the ball against a really good secondary. Mika Fitzpatrick and Joe Hayden really gave him fits this week, and even some of the linebackers in Bud Dupree and Cam Hayward were getting after him all game. It was obvious that the Steelers wanted to force him to throw the ball, and that ended up being their downfall. He had like 3 turnovers, I think, which isn't really good against a division opponent that you need to make a statement against. They knew that they were 1 game behind the Steelers in the division. They knew that if they won this game, it would go a long way for the division. They break the tie. It's a game that's won in case there's a tie at the end of the season. But now you drop this one. You leave yourself in a position to where you have to get the next one. And we expect better for someone that's a reigning MVP in this league. I know I do at least. Him throwing the ball, for me, has been one of his strengths. Even though running is his strong suit, he can also throw the ball, but he just didn't look like he was capable in this game, and they ended up losing. That's what it boils down to. It doesn't change the fact that this is still one of the top teams in the AFC. It's a shame that they're going to probably be a wild card team, but I wouldn't write them off just yet. They do play the Steelers again this time on Thanksgiving, and that's going to be a game that they need to win. It's going to be really telling for them. If they drop the game on Thanksgiving, they probably won't win the division, and then you end up being in that wild card mix. And this year, it's going to be a lot of good wild card teams playing against division winners, and they might end up seeing this team again in the playoffs that same week. So this is not over with yet. Don't judge the Ravens too much from this game, but they're going to have to be better next time that they play the Steelers, or it's not going to look good for them. This was a big game for the Ravens. They wanted to prove that they were one of the best teams in the AFC, and they wanted to prove that they could win this division. But this is a really good win for the Steelers. The Steelers have been impressive. They've undefeated, the only undefeated team left, and they've now beat 2 top AFC teams in back-to-back weeks, beating the Titans and the Ravens. In this game, it wasn't much offense at all, but they were able to pull out a gritty win. Really a truly AFC North game, because these 2 teams were going head-to-head. They were trying to out-physical each other, and the Steelers just ended up winning it at the end. There was a lot of turnovers by the Ravens that helped them out. But I give props to the Steelers for hanging in there, bro. Like, the first half, they didn't score a single offensive touchdown. They did get a pick 6, but didn't score a single offensive touchdown. The offense looked lazy, it looked slow. And they came out in the second half and owned that half. That was their half. Ben Roethlisberger was making on-point throws and making plays when they needed them to be made. And that's what ended up being the overall difference. And a great defense. The secondary showed up really huge in this game. Like I said, the Steelers, they're a top team. They're to be reckoned with. Please put some respect on the Steelers' name. Please. They're the undefeated team. And they got a layup next week against the Cowboys. I see them keep going. I can't wait for Thanksgiving, though. When these 2 teams play again, we're going to see a different Lamar on that night. All right, the last and final game we're going to cover from Week 8 is the Saints and the Bears. And, man, this one had a lot going on in it, man. It was chippy. And I've known y'all seen the play of the dude getting punched in the jaw twice, but it's going to be in this highlight reel again. So just in case you missed it, I got you on that. Without further ado, here's the highlights. Saints come out the game fast. Bears D able to wake up and hold them to a field goal. Bears convert a 3-and-8 with a Montgomery rush, but a sack forces them to settle for the field goal. Kamara rips off a huge run to end the first quarter. On to the second quarter, Kamara takes a dump off a long way for a huge gain. Brees throws it short of the sticks on third down. Field goal attempt bounces off the upright and is no good. Foles rips off two huge passing plays for Mooney and a touchdown to Robinson on a diving catch. Bears go up 10-3. Saints, 3-and-out. Chicago drives down the field on the 2-minute routine and gets a field goal before the half. Saints get the ball back with 1:47 left in the half. Brees is able to carve up the Bears defense with a nice screen by Kamara on the fourth and a dime thrown to Cooks for a touchdown. Makes it 13-10 at half. In the third quarter, Bears open the third with a bad possession as Foles completely forgets the play clock and takes a sack on third down. Then they allow the punt returner to return the ball all the way down to the red zone. But New Orleans is unable to capitalize and can't even get a first down. Settles for 3 and ties the game at 13. On the next drive, Foles throws an interception to Lattimore that never had a chance for the receiver. Saints again have the ball on the positive side of the 50. The Bears D steps up, forces the Saints to convert a fourth down, which they do, but they do not allow another one as they make them kick another field goal. After a Bears 3-and-out, Saints force a fourth down attempt that fails on the play that wasn't even close. On the following drive, the Bears also arrive at a fourth down attempt that fails on the play that also wasn't even close. Brees puts together a drive that he was just surgical on, made great passes into tight windows, and caps it off with a touchdown pass to Hill. Foles is able to lead his team down the field with the help of big chunk plays and a pass interference called in the end zone. Touchdown goes to Mooney and Chicago still has life. Bears get the Saints to the punt with less than 2 minutes left in the game. Chicago looks good on the drive down the field where they had to convert 2 fourth downs. Couldn't get the first down on the second attempt, but they did get into field goal range. Santos makes a 51-yard field goal and sends the game into overtime. Saints win the overtime toss, end up having the punt on the first possession. Foles gets sacked on second down, but is able to convert a 1st and 15. They make it to third down, and Foles has another sack lunch. A good pass to Smith and a dumb flag for illegal contact helps the Saints move the ball. Kamara then takes a huge run into the red zone to set up the game-winning field goal. The Saints are a really hot team right now. They won 4 straight games, and this game was a good win for them. It's been a while since they've had their top 2 receivers, Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. But it seems that Drew Brees is doing everything that he can do to keep this team afloat while they're away. And not to mention Alvin Kamara's a beast. He's a dog. So this team is dangerous. They're a high offensive team. It worries me a little bit that their defense looks so bad against a horrible offense. And time and time again, the defense let Nick Foles do whatever he want to do out there. So they're going to have to wrap that up for sure. They don't look like a Super Bowl team. They definitely look like a playoff team. They could prove me wrong next week playing against the Buccaneers, which is a game that they desperately need to win. They got to stay high going into Tampa Bay to play against the Bucs. But as far as this week goes, they found a way to win. They had no business going into overtime with the Bears, but that defense is to be respected, bro. The Bears defense is real. But they're able to pull this one out without their top two receivers, as I said. Kamara did his thing out there. Drew Brees made the passes that he needed to make. He was on point. He was connecting with every receiver that was open, and he trusts everybody on the field. Everyone has a chance to catch a touchdown in this Saints offense, and it's looked really well this week. And the real test is going to be next week against that Buccaneers defense and the high-power offense of the Buccaneers. So I'll reserve judgment on the Saints until next week when they meet their division rival. As for the Bears, man, this offense looks bad, really bad. Nick Foles is a statue back there, and he got fooled on all those sacks because his O-line can't protect him. At least when they had Money Mitch out there, he could run around a little bit, and that's something that you need when you got a pretty bad offensive line. But their defense will keep them in games. The defense will keep them close. And their defense will be the reason that they'll still make the playoffs. But if they're going to make some noise in the playoffs, they're going to have to find a better way to protect Nick Foles or make the change and take their chances with Trubisky. But shout out to the defense. The defense played spectacular against the high-powered Saints offense. And they gave the offense plenty of times to win the game, and they just wasn't able to do much with their opportunities. The only reason this game was close in the first place is because of how well the defense played. I like the Bears a lot because of their defense. I respect those guys. They are some dogs. But until they get this offense situated, they won't be scaring anybody in the playoffs. It's unlikely that they'll win the division. I don't think they can beat the Packers. But, hey, man, the Packers lost to the Vikings this weekend. So, anything can happen when it comes to that division. It usually comes down to the last week anyway. So they have a chance. They're definitely a playoff team. I just don't know how much they're going to be able to be effective when the playoffs start and if they can win those tough playoff games with Nick Foles in the backfield. I know Nick Foles is a playoff performer, but, hey, man, this is going to be tough because dude was back there and he was getting torn apart every time they came through the offensive line. So he was struggling and he looked bad just standing back there eating a lot of those sacks. And on the one play he did try to run out to the sideline, the sack looked worse than any other sack that he took in the pocket. So they're going to have to correct that, get their line to protect better, or give Trubisky his chance, man. This is his last year on his contract in Chicago. You might as well give him a shot at it. I think he's a better option for them than Nick Foles. To me, Nick Foles is a backup quarterback. If you wanted Nick Foles to be your guy for the playoff, you should have waited later in the season to put him in there and not bench Mr. Trubisky at the first chance that you got. But hey, that's it on the Bears. Hopefully they can come out. They still have to play the Packers twice, I think. They're going to need both of those games if they don't want to be a wild card team. And I won't lie, Soldier Field is a good home field advantage for them. It's going to be nice and cold, and it's not a place that teams want to go to play a playoff game in December or January. So if they're able to pull out a win in the division, if they're able to beat the Packers, they're going to be a problem to play against because of their conditions and because of that defense. All right, you guys, that's a wrap on everything that happened in the NFL of Week 8. The top three games that came from this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Like I said before, this is a new channel. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers as fast as I can. So make sure you show your boy some love. As for the comment of the day, I want you guys to tell me which team you think is the best in the AFC North. Is it the Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns, or the Bengals? Either way, leave a comment. Let's embrace the debate in the comment section down below. I'll be in there myself, giving my opinion. You guys make sure you show some love to your boy. And other than that, I'm out, man.